This is my 1000 subscribers special. Thanks for this wonderful year. It's your support that makes this little corner of the internet possible. Keep discussing me, keep challenging me, and thanks for all your kind words. So, bridges. Whenever an election is over, the newly formed government points out that it is time now to forget the differences and work together as one people and pay all the taxes. Blah 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 blah. But the fact is that a ruling body has never a true interest of a unified people under them, so what we can do is follow the trench lines and trench them even deeper until we break up from each other and form different entities. Leftists in one nation, rightists in the other, regions in one nation, stake eaters in the other, or we can try to build bridges over the trenches the ruling body told us to dig. In the last days I had some interesting discussions. Two very lengthy ones were particularly interesting. Both started with my opponent holding the state and socialism above all, and ended after an hour of arguments with them saying that I'm right and less state is the way to go, and that he never saw the world from this point of view. So how to do that? Well, it helps if you know your shit, and it helps to know how to sell it, but that's rhetoric, and this talk right now is not about how to win an argument, it's about the mindset. The bridge builder mindset that no politician has or can live by. You see, to win someone's mind and heart, he, the other guy, has to be ready to adopt the new idea, and from my experience, the only way to find this mindset in your opponent is to have it yourself. So if I go into a discussion, I'm ready to lose the argument and the discussion. Why? Because if I do lose, but did fight with all what I got, but the other had more, he either know his shit better, was more eloquent, or he was simply right. If you lose a discussion, you are likely to win skill and the truth. Rushing into a discussion, on the other hand, self-confident and with the absolute knowledge that you are right and anyone else is stupid, will never change your mind, especially not your own mind, and this will hinder your growth. That may sound weird for a lot of you, and it may sound weak, but the opposite is the case. If you are confident in yourself and you are not your ideology, you can afford to lose and to learn and to change and to grow. I often ask people how much of what they will ever be they already are. In other words, what is their potential? What is the development that still can happen? And a lot of people say, I'm 80% developed with age 22 and no kids around. And that's kind of sad. Again, lose the argument, win skill and truth. And all this starts with the realization that there is a lot of potential to growing left in each and every one of us. If you go into discussion with that mindset and say, okay, show me what you think that we should do from the beginning, over the middle, to the end, and beyond that. And after carefully understanding it, discussing it, finding weak spots, and honestly weigh the consequences, not for the best case scenario, but the worst case scenario, which includes egoistic humans who behave like, well, humans, you invite the other side to your idea, and you will go the same path, from the start, over the middle, to the end, and beyond. An important part of that is to know where your own weak spots are, which means that you have to accept that your ideology is not perfect. And spoiler alert, whatever ideology you have, it has weak spots. If you're an authoritarian, one weak spot is that some people don't want to follow, but also don't want to lead. If you're a libertarian, one problem is that some people want lead, although nobody wants them as leaders because they're incompetent, and others on the other hand want leadership, although they would not need it. ANCAPs have the problem of 9 billion different definitions where the NAP begins. Democrats have the problem that some people vote anti-democrats, and communists have the problem that we have way too many brain cells for a system that works only very well with ants. And don't get me started with the really weird ones. The thing is, there is no solution that all would love. Some will always fight it. The question is, what is your goal? And from my experience, the goal complex, peace, prosperity and justice, is something a lot of people in the West can agree to. The first step is to establish that there are things you both want, and that there are things that you want and the other not, and vice versa. The things where you agree are most important, yes, but for the stuff you don't agree upon, you have to agree how to deal with that. Can you ignore it that someone else wants something completely different than you, or do you have to accept it? Has one the right to dominate? If you can't agree on that, there is only one solution: the separation and borders, which is an absolutely valid point and option. If the other stands on the point that he is right and everyone who does not agree with him has to die, you pretty much have the moral high ground and can do certain things with that. The discussion is the bridge. You have to start it and the bridge is more or less there. But you have to go on the other side to invent the other side to your side. A discussion is not a fight, it's a dance. The goal must be to move ahead and that all involved benefit. Building bridges is one thing, going over with the confidence and coming back even more skilled is a completely different topic. But if you are here, you are part of the counterculture that is under non-stop attack of the mainstream. Therefore, you are very likely already more skilled in discussing. Use that to turn the tides. And when the tides turn, and they will eventually, keep that ability. Keep the ability to build bridges, to go over, to hold your own ground, and to adapt to an ever-changing world. What is true today might be wrong tomorrow. What sounds like a good idea right now might be an absolutely silly one with a terrible outcome. Remember this time, always remember this time when you fought with reason against the mass of the controlled. Never become like them.